Good evening, or whatever time it is. Welcome to what we have dubbed Japanese Daily, where we talk about things that are Japanese, whether it be language, culture. Language or culture. What else is there? And I will do my best as a man on the back of the bus who has been involved with Japan now for 38 years, including 30 years of marriage with my wife, 13 or so textbooks. Maybe some of those were Korean. The building of YesJapan.com, FromZero.com as part of the team now. The whole thing. Just tons of experience. I'm in Japan right now for another 6 more days, then I head off to Korea. But if you have questions about Japanese, I'll do my best to answer them as the man on the back of the bus who knows Japanese. And if I get it wrong, I'm sure we can correct it in the comments. Welcome. I believe the stream has started. Hey, Burnt Rolls. Hey, Brian Biggs, Niaka Loomis, and Steven Jacobs. Check this out. This is the newest thing I just got. It's the craziest, most awesome thing. It's a small monitor that's super light that I can set here to just handle comments. So now I can look over here and not have to like rearrange my screen. It's always going to be right there. Isn't that kind of cool? Is that like the coolest thing you've ever seen? I can have it not scooch around. That'd be sweet, but it's scooching around a lot. And put something underneath it. It's because of the way my cable is kind of set up weird. Isn't that the coolest thing you ever saw though? I saw it in the store and I was like, wow, that's like, I rarely come across a new piece of thing, like a technology that I'm like, that's awesome. And this was it. What's up, Thomas Mecklenburg? Did they force you to put your full name? All right, this is a bad idea. Hang on. This is just a bad idea. The problem is this cable. I'm gonna. Oh my God! Just give me a second. I gotta. This cable's being weird. It's making the monitor. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. This is probably better. There we go. Oh yes, much better. Oh no. Oh no. Hang on. Yes, I did it, didn't I? I had this like set up perfectly. Now I've messed it up. There we go. All right. Okay. Oh man, thank you. Bestra Frang with a very early on question. Give me a second before then. Let's get this set up. Why can't I hear it? Why can't I hear the music before I get to this question? Let's go to that one. Hang on. Oh, here we go. I gotta go to this. All right, let's get some chill Adeline Pake tracks going. All right, first question of the day is, can I say kanojo wa kuruma no hitsuyou aru? Oh, you could say it. No, you could do better. As for her, she has a need for a car is what that sounds like you're trying to say. But it was kare, sorry, not kanojo. So kare wa kuruma ga hitsuyou desu is so much better than trying to make that sound natural. So kare wa kuruma ga hitsuyou desu. He needs a car. That's it. The way that hitsuyo, you could say hitsuyo ga aru, he has a need for a car, right? So yeah, kuruma no hitsuyo, kuruma no hitsuyo, I don't know, I don't think it's wrong per se, but it's just not the best way to say it. Instead of saying he has a car need, he has a need for a car, or he needs a car. Even in English we say he has a car need. Is it wrong? No. Is it weird? Yes. Is there better? Yes. So kare wa kuruma ga hitsuyou desu. Perfect. Nobody will misunderstand you. Love it. Kyle says, Minasan, yo, what's up? Guy215 says, I still think George is jealous of the Giga Chad who married Hatsune Miku. If I knew who that guy was. Oh, the guy the other day Dude, my brain right now was like, oh, Hatsune Miku got married? Huh, I didn't even hear about that. Who's this guy? It was the guy we did on the news the other day, but I just made all of those streams invisible. They're private now. So they don't exist anymore, guys. The only streams are here now, and I'll have to cut those up into fun little streams to put up. But I ain't got the time. So realistically, am I going to do that? Am I going to cut up streams that I did 2 weeks ago? Probably not. I mean, it sucks because there was probably some good stuff. But nah, ain't going to happen. Best for Frank says, I guess it's correct, but unnatural. Why kare wa kuruma ga shitsu? This is the most natural then. Thank you. Yep. Hey, Melanie. What's up? What's up, Melanie? Dude, I'm loving this new little monitor. It's like I can literally set it right here if I need to on my computer. Hang on, I'm gonna set it right here. Oh, so nice, dude. I just gotta get a cable that isn't bending up weird. Okay, hang on. Okay. I need like a softer cable. Oh yeah. Oh, this is so nice. A physical like little window. Now weirdly, watch this. I actually can do this. Hang on, let me. I'm not gonna keep it up, but watch what I can do. If I do window capture, and let's call this chat. Oops. Chat. Then I can pull. Oh no, that doesn't work. Hang on, let me cancel out of that. Instead of that, we'll do. Let me get rid of this. That was a mistake. I mean, I think it's not window capture, it's screen capture, display capture. So now I can catch my, like, what do I call this, like, vert screen? And I'll put, like, chat or something like that, right? So now I can take my DXI desktop duplication. Is that what that is? Nope. Window, this one? Nope. Huh. Oh, that's capture method, never mind. Okay. This one. Oh. Okay, it can't show it because of a setting that I have where it hides OBS. So let me see if I can't change that in the advanced settings. That was actually a good setting to have though, to be fair. I might not be able to stop it without stopping the stream. Hang on. Yeah, that might be in like an output or recording setting that I can't change. So I'm gonna look it up. How do you hide? I don't know if I can fix it. Video. I don't think I can fix it. Well, oh, hide OBS from screen capture. There we go. Let me apply. All right, see now? Okay, you see I have this over here? So hang on, let me, I'll do this. I'll do this, right? And then I'll throw this over here, right? Cool, right? I can have the chat here now because I have this independent window. Now, if I ignore you, there's no excuse. Like I'm ignoring you for real. Okay. Kyle Spevik says, I started to listen to OK Cozy Up and I'm not sure it's for me. They seem to just be covering current world events, like the news. And the last thing I want is to hear about Ukraine and stuff. Oh, okay. Well, hey, find something else. Do you want to see if we can find something else for you tonight that would work for you? Let me help you out with that. Let's keep that in mind after I read a couple more comments. Best Frank says, Joji Shirur, Pangawayo. Is it Rur Pangawayo? I don't think it's Rur. I think it's Joji Shi. Isn't it Ga Pangawayo? I'm not actually sure. I never thought about it. Normally they say Manaso Pangapsmida or Manaso Pangawayo or Panga. They don't say, I mean, it could be Rur, but I have a feeling it's Ga, but I literally never say that. Oh, Yuki-san, Uematsu-san, 今ね、実はね、明日から東京なんです。明日から行きます。両国のアッパーホテルにいるから、もし遊びに来たかったら、もちろんさ、千葉とかに行こうと思ってるんだけど、ぜひ会いたいと思ってます。会いましょう。6日間いますから。12日に帰るけど、これから、6日間は両国のアッパ取りました。Guide 215 says, I'm still confused on why you would say 私がわかります instead of 私をわかります. I'll explain why. the subject is marked with ga, right? Or the thing that is doing the understanding we mark or is marked with ga. The thing that is doing the thing can't be o. Does that make sense? It can never be o. Watashi o wakarimasu, the best that could be, even though it wouldn't be, is to understand the thing. But wakarimasu marks the thing that you understand with ga. Or the person that understands is normally you'd say watashi wa wakarimasu, I understand, right? O is normally used to represent an object that is getting affected by the verb, not the object doing something to the verb. Does that make, or with the verb? So for example, watashi ga tabemasu, I eat. What do you eat? Pizza, right? Pizza o tabemasu. Well, even though o doesn't do this, theoretically it would be I understand. Watashi ga wakarimasu. What do you understand? Anata o, you. But with wakarimasu, it's ga, right? So there's no action hitting on the verb. Stephen Jacob says, cool, now it shouldn't take George 45 minutes to notice me when I tell him he's muted. Don't scare me like that, dude. You scare me like that. I thought I was muted. Melanie, don't do that. Scare me. 待ってるよゆきちゃん。ゆきちゃんは何両国に来れる？東京とか秋葉原とか。多分ね、明日秋葉原で遊ぶよ。もし遊びたかったら。千葉行ってもね、千葉行ったら他に友達もいるからいいんだけど、なんかわざわざ千葉に行くことはないだろう。成田も遠いし。今度は韓国は羽田から行くことにしてると思います。確認します。どこに携帯電話どこにいたんだ？確認した方がいいよね。Where is my 携帯電話？知らんがね。Melanie says, I learned today that there is kanji for re, but is it actually used anymore? What re? Is that the zero re? Kyle Spevek says, you don't have to necessarily help me. Jikko Pre and Good Morning Call have done me really well. Yeah, hey, as long as you're doing something, I think that's the best you can do. I like that. If you found something that you like. But I would be willing to look for like another podcast that maybe isn't talking about politics. But world events are easy because if you know what's happening in the world event, then the Japanese is just like confirmation of the world event, and you already have like a understanding of the topic a little bit. It helps. And if you're listening to another podcast that's, let's say, about Japanese famous people and what they did and scandals that they have or something like that, well, you wouldn't necessarily know who that person is, so maybe it would be hard to follow what it is. But if we can find a show that's like people calling up for advice, that's a great one. They call up and they say like, hi, I'm 46 years old. I live in Chiba, and my husband doesn't love me anymore. And I'm meeting with a foreigner named George Trump. Oh, I can't tell you his name. My name is Yuki. No, goddamn it, I shouldn't have said that. And I'm meeting George in Akihabara tomorrow. You think that's wrong? Am I the asshole? Then it'd be fun because you get the premise right away, and then you get the result of the response. So it's a topic you can easily follow. Much better than, talking about what Congress did and Ukraine's support and all of that stuff too, for sure. Wakaru is intransitive. That's why. Yeah, that's a great way to talk about it for sure. Yeah, if you want to learn those type of words like intransitive and transitive, but what that means is to be simple. Transitive means it can change the thing, and intransitive means the thing can't be changed, right? But really, verbs that use God, they're like state verbs. I understand this thing. That's a state of understanding. I like to say state verbs, and the other verbs are action verbs. You do a thing, right? You speak Japanese, you eat, you buy, you sell. Those are all O's. Everything that's an action verb is going to mostly be an O. And then things that are state verbs, which are just talking about the situation, like I am sitting. That's ga suaru, right? But yes, wakaru is indeed a verb that can't change the thing that it's being attached to. Yes. No, anata o wakarimasu is not correct. Kyle says, my TikTok lessons got attacked by Pitch Accent Mafia today. Kyle, I'm probably never going to look at your TikTok lessons. But you probably said something that they don't like. Good luck. That's a very religious group. Mohammed Hassan says, I can't understand the particle ga. You and a lot of other people can't. I mean, we just debated it even amongst the company higher ups yesterday. Me and the two programmers, and we just went back. Well, mostly me and the CTO, because the CTO studies a lot. And when I was talking about how ga is used by default in your clauses, a subclause of a bigger statement, he said, well, not necessarily. And he proved me wrong if I made that general of a statement. He's like, well, what about when you're emphasizing in this way? And I was like, oh, yeah. Yep. So even I'm still grasping it. If it was easy, it wouldn't be written about in books, and everyone wouldn't be struggling with it. You just say, here's the 5 rules for Wan Ga, and you'd be done. A random squid says, hello, I hear the word kamben. Is it kamben or kimben? Kimben a lot, but I'm confused about how it's used. Is it the exact same thing as yurusu? I'm going to take this king. I think it's kinben. I thought kinben, if it's kinben, if it's kanben, it's different, but I don't remember how to read it. Hang on. Oops. Not hishow.org. That's probably a porn website. Hisho's secretary, for the record. Okay, so that is kamben. So weirdly, when I hear kamben shite kudasai, I always thought it was stop it. Kamben shite kudasai yo. I didn't know it meant forgive. I never knew that. I always thought kamben shite kudasai meant, like, in every context I've ever heard it in. So let me go to the hang on. How do I do this? How do I go to Japanese? Okay. So I'm gonna look up kamben shite kudasai. I never knew that. I don't know what the nuance difference is then, because I literally was remembering it wrong all this time. Oops. It's definitely not something I've heard for forgive me, but again, I was, in Korean it translates to yongso 해주세요, which means forgive me. Wow. Hang on. You guys can't see what I'm doing. All right, let me move this over here. Hey, that's way better. Okay. So let's see, English. Oh my God, can I type properly? Oh my God, I went to Chinese. Stop. Okay. Please let me go. See, it's, I don't, let me throw this into a deep L. Please don't do that. See, I don't ever hear it as forgive me. What did I just say earlier for kamben? I said something like that, didn't I? I don't even remember. I always forget what I just said like 2 seconds ago when I see these translations. But it's, what did I say earlier? What did I say like 2 minutes ago? I need a quick replay of what I said. I've never heard it as forgive me ever. So I don't know how it gets translated as that. Even in Korean, it was yongso 해주세요, which means please forgive me. I don't know how, but I always hear it said like, don't do that. Always. Give me a break, I think, or something like that. Like, stop it. Give me a break. Don't do that. Like, not forgive me though. So I don't know beyond that. Okay. Melanie, did you see my message about, and I'm assuming that's re. Here, let's look it up. I think it's just like absolute zero, if that's the kanji that I think it is. Yeah. So re is used in numbers like re ten go. It's like that. It's like absolute zero, or 0, 10, 5, 0.5. Or like re do. It's 0 degrees. It's used for like absolute kind of scientific-y numbers. All right. Kamben to me is like go easy on me or give me a break. Yeah, I really always hear it like in my mind as Yeah, like stop that. But it might mean "Kanbei kudasai yo." Yeah, I mean, I guess it could translate as "forgive me." It's like, allow me this one or something like that. Necros, see, I'm ignoring this right here, but now you can see what I'm exactly ignoring. I'm not a fan of promoting other people's things on my private personal channel. I mean, could you imagine I go into your thing and be like, hey guys, it's me, George. Remember to check out Japanese from Zero. How many subs you got though, Kyle? How you doing over there? Necros, you know what? Now I'm going to look for it. You know what? Fine, Kyle. Fine. Where's my Oh, I don't have TikTok here. Okay, here we go. All right. You don't have like an account name, huh? There's a lot of Japanese is easy, so I don't know which one is you. What's your actual account name? Are you Russian? Oh my God, there's a billion Japanese is easy. How am I gonna find this? Which one's yours? You're losing your chance, man. Necroskill says maybe it's forgive me when you're begging for your life. No, I don't think so. It's probably one of those things where the literal translation isn't exactly how it's used. Like let's hang out has nothing to do with hanging. Okay. I always think like when I think about to go out with the hangout thing, like asonde kudasai, like asobi ni kite kudasai. Forever, I always just kind of thought, oh, you want me to come play with you? But only like maybe in the last 5 years that I think, oh yeah, it's actually more like hang out. Asobi means to hang out. Asobo, let's hang out. Because when girls would say to me, asobi ni oide, like come play with me, I'm like, I will be there. I'll be there in about 2 seconds. But then I realized it's just hang out. It's not the same thing, right? Kyle says, I wasn't trying to promote. I just wanted to share. Well, tell me what your actual channel, like what's your username? Here, I'll put the word Kyle in there too. We'll see. Kyle. I have Japanese ASMR massage. Japanese is easy VJ with like some Israeli lettering, Hebrew. Then Russian for Japanese is easy. Come on, man. I'm trying to help. But easy, Japanese is easy is probably just a bad name. Because I'm not finding you in hashtags. Oh my God, everyone on their planet is doing it. All right, well look, we can't find it, so there it is. Kevin says, I heard you talk about how when you met someone, you try to switch to casual speech. I do, rather quickly. How do you actually do that? Is it something you try and feel the reaction, or do you ask first? I never ask. This is probably a part of my life thing. I avoid asking permission because the answer could be no. I'm much the kind of person that would rather ask. I would rather say sorry than asking for permission. That's just my style. So for example, the biggest example I can think of. Now, first of all, I don't go completely, depending on the person, I'm not going to go completely informal, but I'll drop it to a level of formality that I like more. So I'll give you an example. So I somehow became the official interpreter for Tokyo Disneyland. Actually, it was the company Oriental Trading Company. They own Disneyland Tokyo, right? And I don't even remember how it happened. Like they found me online. They sent up some guys to a convention, and I did I mean, I had a absolute horrible initial impression with them. Like I messed up when I got to the hotel. I went to the Hilton Hotel. They were having this convention there, and I got there a little bit early for my first assignment with Tokyo Disneyland. And they had staff up in a room talking to Cisco. They said, yeah, hey, why don't you come up to the room? The staff were up there doing a presentation. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll help them out with the presentation, you know? So I get up to this room, and keep in mind, I've never met the clients, which is rare for me. Normally, I have already established a rapport. And I either know, normally would also have established a rapport with the speaker. So not only would I know the Japanese side, I know the English side. That's where my strong points lie. I have a charm that they know, I didn't have that. So I arrive in the room and there's this guy doing a presentation about really high level stuff. And there's like maybe 8 people there and 4 of them are Disney. And I kind of I come in the middle of the presentation. So I've interrupted and I just take a seat next to the 4 Japanese guys, the suited up older Japanese men. And then the guy goes, I said, oh, I'm the interpreter. And he goes, oh, that's fine. I'll go ahead and speak slow for you. It's like, oh, no, you don't have to speak slow. Speak normal, which is true. I don't need anyone to slow down. I can handle the speed. What I couldn't handle was I did not know what he was talking about. Like I had not understood what he was talking about. So when he said, and what this will do will definitely supercharge your applications, I got lost knowing since I never established communication with the Japanese guys, I didn't know what their level of tech was. And I didn't know if supercharge was a thing that I could just say, supercharge. Because a lot of times you could take like a buzzword and just say supercharge. But I'm like, well, okay, I don't think that's probably worth it. So I'm like, I didn't know what I could say, power up. Like, what could I say? Like, kyoka dekiru, like, strengthen up. Like, I didn't know. So I was just like, and then he kept talking. He didn't slow down at all, like he said he would. He didn't pay attention that I was like not saying anything. And then it went like for a couple more sentences, and then the PowerPoint like ended. It was like right over. And then we stand up to go downstairs into the I think this was CES. It was like CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, or it might have been the National Association of Broadcasters. I'm not exactly sure which one it was. So we head down. We as we're leaving the room, remember I haven't established any rapport. I have not even said one thing after my embarrassing not being able to translate anything for the last part of that PowerPoint. He said, "Tsuyaku ga mahi shiteru." The interpreter is frozen, paralyzed. And I understood it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to work for these guys again. So then we head down into the bottom, the bottom of the hotel. And I think right away we met with some Disney engineers, like the Disney Imagineers is what they call them. These really cool older engineers that have been at the company for 30 years or whatever. And it's like a sit down, which I'm so good at. I'm so good at the sit down meeting because I'm in between the Americans and the Japanese, and the Americans are friendly, so they immediately establish rapport. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I've been interpreting for the blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh yeah, it's cool, man. Like, this is what we're talking about. And I sort of understood where they were going to talk about it, and then luckily the Americans talked first, and I'm super strong English to Japanese mostly, right? Normally, right? So I translated, and they said shit. They said stuff back, and I was like, okay, the meeting went really well. And then later, I think it was 2 days later, and I got like, hey, do you want to sign a contract? And I was like, yeah. And for 4 years, I got a new contract every year to work for Disney, which was really cool. The only reason I didn't continue is I didn't get back to them after the 4th year. I'm horrible with paperwork, and I just never re-signed them, But when one of the Disney people was, dude, the cool thing about Disney, Tokyo Disneyland, is I got access to places I would never get access to. I've been under the Bellagio Hotel fountains. I was in the control tower when they started a show that wasn't on schedule. They just started it to show them how it all worked. I got to see how they repair the fountain and stuff like that, and the whole docking area for boats coming in. It was really cool. I got to go in the underground of the New York Hotel Cirque du Soleil stage, where they have this big elevator that brings people up. I tell a story all the time about how knowing kanji is like a superpower if you know kanji, because they were talking about that stage and the Japanese guy says, "Kore wa kyuonzai desu ka?" I never heard that word before. How could I possibly even know that word, right? But my brain was like, okay, what are we talking about? We're talking about a type of material. I knew right away, zai. He's pointing to a material and it says Q-on zai. So it's Q-on material. Okay, what do we got left? Q-on. And my brain is firing on all cylinders. Okay, go on, gotta be sound. So sound material. I just don't know Q. It's not the number 9, right? It's not all of a sudden. It's not like, like Q, soku no Q. And I just thought, oh, Kyushu, absorb. And I swear to God, it went like this. Kore wa kyuonzai desu ka? Is this sound absorbent material? That's how quick my brain shot out all of that discussion in the brain because of kanji, because of other words. And not even, to be fair, not even because of kanji, because I know words that have those sounds in them. I couldn't write the Q kanji if my life depended on it. I could write oto, I couldn't write Q. But that happened with Disney in the New York stage of the Zumanity show, which I've never even seen. I got to go to the Ka show, the behind the scenes of the Ka show. Like I'm walking in the backstage where all of like the performers are preparing for the show. Like all these French people, they're all maked up, getting makeup. There's, super sexy bikini girls, this is really fun. And then they showed me like this big, they had this mat called a tatami mat. This is before the show opened. It was like pre-opening of the show. Like they hadn't opened yet. And they were explaining how it all worked and the mechanics behind it. Like a bunch of cool stuff. I got to go to the Treasure Island. I got to go on the pirate ship, and they explained how like the explosions work. This is before they ruined it, before MGM bought it and just absolutely ruined it. It was still owned by Treasure Island. But anything that had to do with anything like that sort of thing, because this is before Disneyland, Tokyo Disneyland had their own Cirque du Soleil show. Now they have one. This was like the research they were doing. But anyway, so yeah, for 4 years I worked with them. I don't know where I was actually going with this discussion at all. Oh, there was one cool thing that happened that was outside of like those cool places. One of the Disney guys, the Tokyo Disney or the Oriental Land Company people. Oh, I know how to get back to where I was. We're talking about informalities, but let me end with this one thing before that. So the one of the older guys had a heart attack. I got a call one day. He's like, George, we need you at Desert Spring Hospital. I'm like, what happened? It's like one of the guys had a heart attack, and he ended up getting like a quintuple bypass or something, like an emergency bypass in America. So I was like working with the doctors, getting his family notified. It was just crazy. Like, and he survived. I was very happy that he survived. It would have been really bad if he didn't survive. But one of the trips, the president, the owner essentially, or the CEO of Oriental Land Company came. And I think that's when we went to Ka. And I was pretty nervous because I had met all of the other guys, but I had never met this guy. I don't even remember his name anymore. And we were in the limousine. It was a limousine. Just me, him, and like a few other stuff. But I was like sitting right next to him, and we were having a conversation. And normally, because he's like, this is like upper strata, like people. This is, I don't know how to explain it. This is like, oh, you met Steve Jobs? Yeah. What'd you talk about? Well, I jumped down. I don't do the gozaimasu, omiye ni arimashita, all of that stuff. I'm just like, so desu ka? Hey, omoshiroi desu ne. I'm having normal conversation on a friendly level. I'm not like, so dayo. I'm not that level. I'm not dropping to casual. I'm dropping to desmas. Just normal desmas. Not, so nan desu kedo, watakushi teki ni wa. Like, I hate that. I cannot be that fake ass kiss level Japanese. I'm not a fan of that. And there's a bonus to jumping from this stratified Japanese where you're too scared to talk to them in normal voice. If you jump down to it works in Korean, it works with normal people, the same thing, because Korea has that same stratification, right? You somehow feel more like a friend because friends talk that way. Okay. Now you might be thinking, well, is desu ka, must ka form really friendly? Yeah, it's pretty friendly. It's also kind and nice at the same time, but it's also friendly. Like even today, when I was meeting my friends in Sendai, the wife, she's been married to this guy I heard she called up, had a question for him. She was like, desu ka? She was speaking in that form. So it's not too weird for friends and husband and wives to use desu ka, right? Although normally you could go a level up higher. But that's what I do. Purely because I'm selfish. I hate kowtowing in any language. I'm not that kind of a person. So that somehow brings you closer to people. I remember the president of Ichijo Housing, I was interpreting for him at was it the World Builder Association or something like that? I forget what it was called. And it was like some building thing where you meet like manufacturers of doors and windows and stuff like that. And I was with him, and I took them also on a trip. I was like, they had a day. Like, George, you have any idea? Like, I took them to Death Valley, right? And the whole time I'm just, we're having fun, me and the president talking and just having an enjoyable time. And at one point I went to the bathroom, to the one bathroom in this Death Valley, not the one bathroom, but the main bathroom that you could go to if you weren't in the buffet. And I'm taking a crap, and he sits down in the next stall and he's taking a crap. And for some reason he wanted to talk to me. So we were I don't want to talk while I'm taking a crap, but he was like, so is that, I don't mind this, man. They're having a conversation. I'm like, oh my God, I don't like this. I don't want to, like this is a very private time for me. But then he was so excited that we were having that conversation while we crapped. He told everyone in the van later on, he's like, George is great. Like we were talking while we're shitting together. I'm like, nah, I don't think that's a cool thing, but okay, fine. So I think that level of informality where you're not afraid to offend them, so you speak in a very so nan desu ne level, makes you feel like a friend. Okay, now I'm going to extend this to children, because I've noticed in this trip, I was in Kanazawa with my friend that has 5 children, and then I just spent today with my friend Yukihiro has 2 children, and I feel that in each cases the children were super attached to me, because I'm totally fun. Like when I'm with kids, first of all, I love kids. So I'm their level of conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, what Pokemon do you like? Like I'm having Pokemon discussions with this kid today. And with the 10-year-old and the, 12-year-old, or I don't even know how old the boys are over there, but I know the girl was like, Ria-chan at my other friend's house was like 10. I've known her now for 4 years, but I just met her that one time. But she's like totally like loving any attention, because I don't know if fathers in Japan give children attention enough, On a side note, this is like maybe 10 years ago, maybe even more than that. One of our family friends that I literally, the day she was born, I held her, I got to hold her at the hospital. That's how long I've known her. She's like 20 something now. When she was like 12, maybe, we were all in the park for a birthday party, and I was out in the field tickling my daughters and like doing wrestling and stuff. And she was there too. So I was like, I played with her too. And she got so excited, she threw up. Like she wasn't ready for it, and then started crying. I was like, oh my God. Like she just never had that kind of playing with her father. I think I had never seen it. I've known their father forever too. And then, every time I was at their house and we would, I'd be telling stories or something, she was like, so into the story. Every time I talked to her, she had bonded with me because I gave her attention that I don't think, because that family is a little bit sad because they really liked their older daughter a lot more, because this girl was a little bit chubby. She wasn't the star. Like her I won't even say who she is, because you actually could find her. She's actually a star in Japan, the older one, but she just like the shadow of her older sister the whole time. So today I just kind of felt like even the younger kid, who was like, there was a older one that was like 13 and a younger kid that was 8, enjoyable children. Just we ate sushi. This is so fun all night long. And I want to bring up, I'm trying to bring up a thing, how I'm going to tie this into something else. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. But basically, children as well are not used to adults speaking to them in a casual, like unadult to child form, right? It's always not pandering. What's the word I'm looking for? Like talking down. I don't do that. I'm chill with everybody, right? So I'm having fun talking Pokemon with this kid today. And I actually want to show you, like, at the end of the night, I gave him, they paid for my meal. So I was like, whatever. I haven't spent any money. So when we got to the exit, there's a gachapon, which is like a little, you put money in and you can win like this little ball where the toy comes in. You don't know what toy you're going to get. They're super popular in Japan. And there's a Pokemon one. So I gave him 300 yen. I said, you get what you want. And he got like one. I was like, I got another 1,000 yen, but I couldn't get it exchanged. So I just gave him whatever coins I had in my pocket, and he got another one. He was super excited about that. And when we got home, we opened it, and he says, I want to give you this. I'm going to show you what he gave me. And I want you to tell me, any 8-year-old kid would be this excited to give you things. First of all, he gave me this box, okay? This, I don't know enough, because I bought my first set of Pokemon cards today. Like I just thought, I'm gonna I'm gonna finally do it. But he gave me this box, okay? I don't know if it's good or bad, but he gave me this box. He gave me this folder, this brand new folder that he then individually stuffed these like cards that you could only get through a lottery system for some event. He just gave me like 4 or 5 of these, right? And I'm like, are you sure? Like the parents are, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna take these if you give them to me, but I don't want you to give them to me if these are important to you. He's like, no, I got so many, don't worry about it. This guy, like, he loves Pokemon so much, and I think he was just like happy to have someone enjoy it with him, right? Now, let me show you what else he got me. Entire bag, okay? Here's my haul. So these are, I guess, holders for those big cards so you can display them. I don't quite understand what they are, but so these are kind of cool. So I'm gonna put these over here. Okay, these are the cards that I bought today. Okay, these are limited. You can only buy 5 each of these, I guess, booster decks. So I don't know. This is like Shield and Sword or something like that. V-Star, Universe, Shield and Sword, Sword and Shield. So they only let you buy is like they're like $4 each. And I bought, you know, as many as I could. I was super excited about that. And that was how the discussion started. And he's like, oh my God, I have some cards I can give you. Here's what he gave me. On top of all those other things. I'm just going to show you the full batch. All of these. All of these. And some of them are like he said, like he said, oh, this is good. You can't get these anymore. And the parents were like, oh yeah, we got this at one event. You can't even get them anymore. I'm like, are you sure? Because I was literally telling him, hey, when you get older, I just don't throw away your Pokemon cards. They're going to be worth something. I said this to him the whole time. He's got thousands of these though. Thousands. And he's like, yeah, I won't. I said, like, even if you like fall in love with girls and you think Pokemon's dumb, still keep them because they're worth things. But anyway, so he gave me all of these, okay? And there's one that's like an Eevee Superstars one. Hang on, I gotta find it. It's just too many. Yeah, it's a ton, dude. It's a ton, and they're all like apparently the Pokemon Go ones don't do really well, but I was happy to get this one. He said, oh yeah, no one cares about Pokemon Go apparently. Oops, I dropped that one. Let me see if I can find the Eevee one. There's just so many, dude. Like, okay, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A ton of these. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I mean, these look really cool, right? These Lugia ones, right? That's 23, 24, 20. Okay, this 24th one. This one he said is actually pretty valuable. Eevee Heroes. You can't get this anymore. 24. Also this one. Also apparently pretty special. His mom was saying, yeah, no, that's a pretty special one. I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm going to take these. Trust me. I love Pokemon and I wanted to get into cards and I don't want to take something if you're going to regret it. I asked him like 7 times, even as I got in the car and was driving away, and he was like, I can't wait for you to come back. I'm like, look, you sure you're okay with this? He's like, nah, totally fine. But I did promise to send him a bunch of stuff from America. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 35 packs. 35 packs. Even at 100 yen, that's like $30. But some of them were like 500 yen. Blew my mind. I'm just coming to the conclusion that Japanese kids are awesome, or I'm really good with kids, or they really just don't get a lot of like attention that they need. Maybe they're like, I know that Japanese parents don't say I love you and stuff like that. And depending on the family, they're not very huggy. Like I hugged everyone as I left. I said, in America we hug. So I'm like, but they all did really crappy hugs. There was no real hugs. There was no like actual, it was like shoulder, handshake, shoulder. You know, it was like not a real hug. Like a real hug is like me, you know, you put some soul into it, but none of that. So yeah, that's it. Let me scroll up, see what I missed. Oh my God. I missed a lot. Hang on. Okay. Okay. All right. So here we were. It's easier to apologize than to ask for permission. Yes. Okay. Hang on. Can I explain kimi and when it's appropriate? I've seen people say it means something like dear or sweetie, but then I see it used in the context of where it doesn't make much sense. First of all, I never say kimi ever. It seems rude to me. Kimi wa sa. Like I never use kimi. Now you could use it theoretically, like with your girlfriend, you call her kimi ga suki, but I don't use it. I just never use it. So it seemed to me like a more of a talk down type thing. It's got to be with someone that you're really close to. I never use it. I'm trying to think. This is what happens to me. I'll say I never use it, and then I'll talk to my wife, and I'll go, oh wait, I did just use it, but I don't think I do. Kimi ga sa. I would say omae if I'm going to say kimi. I go even harder than kimi, but I think with any word like even anta, right, is rude, right? But my wife uses it with her mother all the time. Anta. It might be like a Kansai dialect thing. I'm not exactly sure, but she uses it all the time. You know, so kimi might be one of those words where, like, kimi ga iru to. Like, it's not a rude word by nature. It's just, it doesn't feel appropriate to me, so I don't use it. If that helps, I don't know. That's my back of the bus answer. What'll happen is Masayama, if he watches, will go, George was wrong at minute 22:53. Kimi is actually, and then he'll tell you, but I don't think I've ever heard it used as dear or sweetie, but you know, when I had Japanese girlfriends, I didn't use that word. So, Derpster Whale says, "I'm glad to see you're still making videos and streaming. It's nice to see you on here." Yeah, I'm glad. Hey, I'm glad you're here, man. Derpster Whale says, "That sucks. I would probably died on the spot. Man, I wish I knew what I was talking about in that moment." Mohammed Hassan says, "Imamade arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you for up until now. I love your lessons." Derpster Whale says, "Bro used 100% of his brain in that moment." Oh yeah, yes. Okay, you were talking about when I said Kyonzai. No, man, let me tell you, I live for those moments. Like, for me, it's like, all right, let's do it. You ready? I'm excited. Like, I remember when I did my first simultaneous interpreting in a convention where I was in a booth. Like, I had never done, what do they call that? It's simultaneous, like UN style interpreting where I can't interact with anybody. And it was like the guy before me was interpreting, and what happens is he'll keep going. You sit in the booth, you get your headset on, you listen to what he's saying, and there's a button to switch to the other guy. So he's on his side. It's like a dual interpreter booth, and we're supposed to go like 20 or 30 minutes each and then switch back and forth throughout the day, right? So he's like, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, I'm gonna know, okay, I'm ready. I'm up to speed on the translation. We don't talk because you don't want to ruin his flow, and I can't ruin my flow because I'm already interpreting in my head. And the minute he taps over, you simultaneously just keep going. So he's like, let's say, and that's how the blah 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 will connect. Boom. And the connection is done with a serial 232 cable, and you just keep going, right? So fun. Like, I'm like, let's do this thing. And that day in particular was Adobe and Intel that I was interpreting for. And that one, that was some of my best work, because the guy that he started out interpreting, when I tried to switch back to him, I switched back and he could not keep up. He froze. This Japanese man froze. And I was like, and I cut back and I kept going. I was like, okay, tried to cut back. I'm like 2 or 3 times. He couldn't do it. He literally was done for the day. I then did like 6 or 7 hours straight. And in a break between speakers, I called the company and I was like, hey, just so you know, this guy shit the brick. Like, he couldn't keep going, so I'm going to do it. And they said, oh, we're going to pay you extra. Thank you so much. By the way, I never got paid by that company. That was like one of my failures in getting paid by that company. That lady was a complete scam, but I really loved the opportunity. Like, that kind of marathon interpreting, it's so addicting when you can do it. Even when you don't think you can do it and somehow you pull it off, oh, it's the best. So for me, something like that Kyonzai thing, I mean, think about it. I've been talking about that for like 20 years now, however long ago that was. That's like one of those badge of honor like moments for me, that it's a small thing. That guy doesn't even remember it. And I'm like, Kyuonzai, sound absorbent material, boom. And by the way, that whole exchange was like literally like, Kyuonzai desu ka? Is that sound absorbent material? Yep. Hi, so this is done. And like we moved on to another thing. Like nothing else was awesome. And Kyle says that's why I love kanji. Yeah, kanji is the Google for your brain. I mean, to be fair, I should spend like a couple months and just really learn all the kanji that I don't know as well as I should, because I don't know all the kanji. I know enough. I'm in that zone where like there's no desire. I don't care anymore. Like I know enough, and I'm already like past the peak of where I'm going to use all of my max Japanese anymore. So, but I do like Japanese. So I actually learned a lot more kanji doing the kanji from Zero books, making them. What sign are you? I'm a Scorpio. You give me air sign vibes. What's air sign? I don't even know what that means. And do Japanese people use the Western zodiac, or do they stick with the Chinese? They want to know what year you are in blood type, mostly. But there is like Sazoriza and stuff like that. They do have that. I'm Scorpion. Best Drafrang says, どうしてジョージさんは日本語より韓国語を話すのが好きですか? I like speaking Korean more because it's new. Japanese is not a challenge anymore. Korean, it's so fun. Like I think I had it one time where I helped a Japanese person in Korean for a moment, but my dream is to get stuck in a situation where I'm the translator for Korean and I'm translating for a Japanese person. I love that. I love speaking Korean. The dopamine that I get, like today, my Chinese friend, she started talking to me after a while. She hadn't talked to me in a bit. And she's like, Dashu. She said something. I said, and I was doing, I was in the car. So I was doing text to speech or speech to text. So I was like, 我现在在日本, right? And it's like, I love it because I'm nailing, like it's giving me I'm probably doing the right tones and everything, right? And it's like, I'm currently in Japan, and I was going back and forth. I was like, oh my God, this is fun. And she said, you forgot completely about me. She always does this jealousy thing where like, as if we're dating or something like that. She's married, I'm married. It's just a joke, right? And so I love that game. I'm like, no, honey, I only think about you when I'm in Japan. Like I say, but as much as I can do that in Chinese, I'm doing it. But I was sitting there in the car. I'm like, oh, what's that word? Like, oh yeah. Oh, it just makes me want it. I honestly, today I was like the first time in a long time that I thought, I got to keep learning Chinese. I really felt like that because it's a puzzle that your brain, just imagine, solve. That feeling of solving. Japanese, I don't have it anymore. The puzzles that I solve in Japanese were solved so long ago. It's not fun anymore. Korean is my second best language, and I am I never thought I was going to get this good in Korean. I remember when I first started, I was like, yeah, I can never get this good in Korean. But I also I think I underestimated how much the Japanese was going to help me with the Korean. And actually the kanji helps me with Chinese as well too. Oh my God, sorry. That's exactly the Japanese. I make zero effort to learn. Ha ha ha. I wish I knew what you were talking about. I gotta start reading these faster. I think Japanese people use the Chinese zodiac. Yes, you are right. I made some effort to learn. Oh, okay. You're talking about informal, like desmas. Yeah, exactly. That's the good Japanese. I've made effort to learn some sonkeigo, the respectful Japanese, and kenjogo, but I've only used normal teinego. Yeah, it's too much. Like even in Korean, like there was one class where they were teaching me a level of Korean that I can't remember. I think it was called, nope, I'm not gonna remember it. Heda something, but it was a very like nuanced Korean. It would be like it's like the father of your wife who speaks to you in a way with a little bit more respect than he should because you're the husband of his wife. But if you were just a man of that same age, he would speak to you much more high level to low level, right? But because you're his daughter's husband, he teaches you, he treats you with a little bit more respect. I'm like, first of all, I'm never going to marry a Korean. I'm never going to meet those type of people, but okay, I'll learn it. but it was really hard for me. Hey, I think it was something che, but I don't remember. Herache maybe or something like that. It's been a couple years. Kyle says, so what would speaking in basic form be considered, not necessarily speaking like an anime character, da and vulgar? Yeah, it's just mas and imas. Un desu ka? You know, so desu ka? So desu ka? Even tone is a little bit like, it's like, so desu ka? Like, I hate that. Like, so desu ka? Like, I have no backbone when I talk to you. No, it's like, so desu ka? Hey, omoshiroi desu ne. Talking to him like a normal human being. Kyle says, it's so trippy when you see someone be a baby, then they become their own little person and eventually a teen that you can actually converse with on your level. It's fascinating watching my nieces grow. It is, isn't it? And they're way smarter than you think. They're way smarter. I think I told this story yesterday, but I want to say it again because it's so weird, but funny and just a cool thing. The topic's weird. Don't get freaked out by this. But when she said it, I was like, God damn, that's funny. And like adoring, you know? So this is Ria. So I said this yesterday. I'm going to say it again, whatever. We were at the, like a video shop and I was looking at used CDs. And before we went upstairs to look at used CDs and stuff, there was a candy section, right? And she was super excited to see Unchi Gumi, which means poop gumi, like gummy bear, right? But gumi, poop. Unchi gumi. So she saw them. She's got like 5 of them, like 15 yen, and she was super excited. And she's holding those gumi while we go upstairs, and she's hanging with me as I buy things. Her mother's like over there or whatever. And she says, these gumi, these unchi gumi, these poop gummies, they have a millimeter of every person in the world's poop in here, which is funny. I'm like, well, you know, Ria, if they had a millimeter of everyone's poop, it would be bigger than this building. So I don't know if that's realistic. And she said, oh no, but it's only special people's poop. I said, like who? Who would you put in there? Your poop. You be the only poop in there. That's adorable. Like I'm going to figure out a way to put that in a novel that doesn't sound creepy, but it'll be like a quirky girl that says it. Like, it's just like, I was like, Ria-chan, that's dirty, disgusting, but cute. You know, what do you say about that? I told her mother. It was funny. We all laughed at it. Kyle says, gachapon are so addicting. Actually, I want to go back to that other statement that you said, the one that's highlighted. Yeah, man. And I know I have a lot of children like that I knew like either from their birth, especially my daughters who are like 25 and 21. And to see my daughter talking about subjects that I don't understand or watching them do these crazy math, like actual, to me, Einstein looking like, no, that's easy. Just take the, and it's like this big, like, and the derivative of I'm like, oh, yeah, no, wait. And they're like programming in Python. You know, they're working on computer vision projects in their internship. I'm like, damn. You know, literally like 16, 17 years ago, I remember you were on the carpet in our house and you were constipated and my wife's like, you know, got a Q-tip in their butt trying to agitate so they can poop. Like that's what you were a while back. More poop discussion. I apologize. It's on my brain now though. But yeah, it's crazy. But even Ria, like, yeah, she said that poop thing as a 10-year-old, but there was other things that she would say while we were talking. I was like, that's so mature the way she said that. And her brother too, he's like, I think he's 12 and he's like, it's so mature. Like what they say. I'm like, I don't know if I was ever that cool of a kid to be so measured, you know? It's just, it's fun. And so like even the kids today and Ria, and then when they were smaller, when I met them, you know how children end up going too far if you play with them? Like there's a lot of children that I've seen where you're playing with them and then they don't know when to stop. And then they're overdoing it and they keep coming back. I've never seen these kids in Japan do it. They have a limit and they understand, they somehow they understand, hey, this adult, he's probably had enough of you. So they pull back. Okay, Kyle says, gachapon are so addicting. I have so many cute Kirby and Pokemon thingies. Those machines eat my yen. Yeah, I won't get into them. Like I already am afraid that I'm hoping these are the last cards that I'm going to get for a while, but I had to get into a little bit. Kyle says, I was thinking of learning the Pokemon TCG recently, but their official app runs terribly. My phone can play 3D games easily, but that game lagged. Well, if you get an iPhone, you'd probably be fine. You trying to do things with Android, like you're in for a Android? Trying to do something cool? That's where you messed up. Modern Pokemon cards have such fantastic art. I would love those large ones as posters. Yeah, right? Yep. Japan gets so many awesome extra Pokemon-related events and memorabilia. True. Pokemon from Zero. Lugia is one of the best designed Pokemon. I don't know, it sucks in battle, though. I have a 98 Lugia that I play with. It's like one of my top Pokemon, but I hate when it does the... I want to just go pop, 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 pop with its quick battle, with its quick attack. I hate its quick attack. And I don't have enough to change it, so... Or actually, I already changed it what it needs to be the best. Shoulder hugs are the worst, yes. Tokyo Acid said, Pokemon from Zero, the video series where we learn the Japanese Pokemon names. Oh my god, no, they're too complicated. I've already tried. Was this Mickey? Is that how you say your name? I heard people use it if they are trying to be really friendly with coworkers. Yep. Kimi sounds like Sweetie then, like talking to a little kid. Good. I mean, I still don't... Look, there's a lot of Japanese like that I just maybe don't use because I was never in that situation. But maybe a Japanese person would be better to answer the Kimi. Oh, good point, Kingo. The Japanese national anthem is Kimi ga yo, the national anthem. Well, Kimi is also kun. It's the same kanji for kun. Yep. Where'd my gum go? I gotta go to the convenience store. All right. Marathon interpreting. No, that's not what it's called. It's there's consecutive interpreting, which is where you listen for a bit, then you spit it out while they're quiet. There's simultaneous. I think it's just called convention interpreting. Because you're in a flow. Being in a flow is highly addictive. True. Because you don't really think anymore. Just everything is fully automatic and it goes, even though it's difficult. Yep. Black Tengu says, after watching a lot of Japanese films, I noticed when Japanese speak, they mostly speak through their teeth, as if the P and B sounds are rarely made. Possible. New is always more exciting. Same for me when I speak or do anything in French. So addicting. Switching back and forth between 3 or 4 more languages. Dude, pure bliss. Yeah. So Korean, I just, it's like I have this perch that I'm sitting on with Japanese. I have nothing to prove. With Korean, all the joy I got out of Japanese is relived every time I speak Korean. There's something about like, I don't remember. There's too much history with Japanese to remember all of the joy, but it's in my head permanently built, the joy of me when I learned Japanese. Now it's just part of me, right? So it's a enjoyable thing. So my brain's like, give me more of that. That's Korean. I'm still building my Korean wealth in my brain, my perch. I'm crawling up on my Korean perch because I'm nowhere near. Like I always tell Koreans like my Korean's like way better, but I can say almost. I don't think there's much I can't say in Korean. I can't understand as much of Korean as compared to my Japanese. Like I can watch Japanese TV and like literally don't even think, just get it, right? But not Korean. Korean, I'm like, okay, I'm getting part of this. Yeah, they're talking about this, right? Like, yeah. But I don't get every little nuance. Japanese, I pretty much get it, right? Even if I don't know a word or two, I know all the surrounding stuff, so it's like easily. Chinese, like, no, I'm dead. Bestra from Oyasumi Iki-chan. Bestra Frank says, I had to go for a bit. I'm so sorry if you already answered this, but how come you prefer speak? I already did answer it. You missed it. Hichio Kami, George, don't start Android versus iPhone war. We know what will always win. Well, yeah, it's true. It's the iPhone, but if you want to talk about it, that's fine. Android? Hell no, dude. I've done both. I've tried. I spent a ton of money getting Galaxy, 10 Notes, and no, they're completely inferior to an iPhone. Kyle says, I'm working, so I fell a little bit behind. About kanji, I call them the emojis of Japanese, you get the meaning right away, even if you can't read it. Well, depending, right? I get in this mode and solve it, quote unquote. I just get into that level with Japanese and it feels good. Yep. Thomas says, the last few days I've studied how to use sugu and ato ni. You know what's interesting? Ato and mae are both coming up as my next videos. Which of those is used in rather common conversations? Both of them. Which is your opinion or gut feeling? Well, you use sugu all the time, like sugu ikimasu. I'm gonna go right away. Sugu just means right away. And are you saying instead of sugu versus ato ni? You're gonna say ato de shimasu. It's ato de. Ato ni? Ato ni is like when you say ita ato ni, and you're using that as a time frame. So it's using the time marker ni. Ita ato means after I've gone. Tabeta ato, after I've eaten. So tabeta ato ni ikimasu. I'm gonna go after I eat, right? But sugu, I don't know if they're like, sugu means immediately, and tabeta ato ni means like after I've done a thing or something after I've done ta ato, right? So I don't know if they're comparable, really. They're kind of different. But the lucky news is I literally have a PowerPoint in production. I'm going to I don't know if I'll get to it while I'm in Japan. I'm going to try to. I might get to it at least when I'm in Korea. Blue says, I learned the word furin today. Nice. Cheating. Lots of words I learned in J-dramas that I can't use at work. You can use furin. Like there's a thing that I do in Korean. I don't do it in Japanese. I do it in Korean. There's a lot of fun things I can do in Korean because I'm still a learner. I can't do them in Japanese because I know too much. Like there's a thing that happens when you get to a higher level in Japanese. People can't believe you don't know things like, how do you not know that? But when you're a learner, you could say you can say something really out of the blue, like, I want to marry you. You're the most beautiful girl I met. What do you mean you're married? Oh no, I was just practicing my Korean. You know, I'm still not like so good in Korean or so deep in the Korean society like I am with Japanese that if I say something weird, I'm worried about offending. Nope, I'm never at that level right now. So like with my teachers, like I love to say like super misogynistic, like I've never seen a beautiful teacher as beautiful as you. I don't know if that's misogynistic or just like creepy, but I love saying it. I love that. Like I always make my my example sentences about like, if it's like, that's like a comparator. Korean women are the most beautiful women in the world, you know, or, you know, negative, like, what I can't even think of it, but it's always something to do with Korean women. It's like, it's always my fun go-to thing. Like that's all I think about. I don't actually only think about that, but I'm saying it's like I think about it. I have a lot of fun with those. Or like, I've told this story before, but I said this creepiest thing one night. It was so funny to me at the time. This girl, so I go to these language meetups, right? And you'll sit and talk with people, guys, girls, whatever. And one night, I was at a big table, and eventually it was just me and this one girl. And I had seen her before. She knew who I was, and I remembered who she was. But I think it had been like 6 months since I was there. She was like, "Oh, you." So we're having this discussion. She says, "Oh, I have a fever. I have a fever tonight." And I go, "Oh." And in Korean, I said, "Oh, I bet your body is really warm. It would feel really good if I laid on top of you." And she was, "Excuse me?" I go, "Oh, I was saying because your body is so warm, if I laid on top of you, I bet it would feel good." She got up and walked away, and it was so funny to me. But then, literally 2 days later at another meetup, sits right in front of me again and says, "Hey, George, how's it going? What's up? How you been?" Like nothing. So if I ever get called out, I'm literally, called out's not even the right word because I'm playing. I literally will say things to inflame because I love the drama of it all. So I'm not so connected to Korean that I care. And I think that's also part of it. Like I have no responsibility in Korean. You know what I mean? Like I'm not famous to any Korean. I don't have a 200,000 YouTube channel in Korean. And Koreans seem to actually be okay with that now that my Korean's better. When I used to make jokes like that initially, Like I'd say, like I would do like a pun or something like that in Korean that was a little bit perverted. They didn't like that at all. I was like, oh my God, Koreans are so conservative. Like I was freaked out a little bit because Japanese are so not conservative. And I make jokes like that all the time and they make jokes back. My wife would make jokes, you know, like seriously, like if you heard the jokes, you're like, what is that girl saying to you? But it's just a joke. You know, you don't take it seriously. But I would do that in Korean and they'd be like, oh, they were like, oh, where? Why? I'm like, fuck. Like I made a joke in Korean. I was with my Korean teacher from America. He was like my Korean meetup guy. He taught me all of my original Korean. And he brought his girlfriend and we were having dinner. I said, oh yeah, he taught me all the fun in Korean. And I was making jokes like jaji masaji, which means dick massage. Like I was like, yeah, he taught me about massage and dick massage. Like I was making jokes like that, right? Or it's just rhyming words in Korean. He taught me about, there's a joke I used to make very early on, best friend, I would say, breast friends, like jokes like that, right? And she was like, oh, she got so angry at him for him teaching me that when he didn't teach me that. I was just acting, I was making jokes, and then the whole night I had to walk back that joke. It was so much work, man. She was actually angry. She like slapped him on his chest, like, oh, why would you teach him that? Don't do that. I'm like, dude, he didn't. I was just joking, you know, because me and my friend Val, we would always joke that we're best friends, 가슴 친구. And it was just so funny to us to say that. But she just wasn't having those type of bodily jokes, didn't like that at all. And I only said jaji masaji because it was a rhyme. It was like a fun joke. That was one of the early on Korean words that I learned because I messed my name up. You know, I thought my name is Joji, but I wrote it as Jaji. And I sent it off to like 16 people on this website called Paltalk. I was like, my name is Jaji, right? Which means I am penis. I am looking for friends. Will you be my Korean friend? Penis. So I learned that word early on. And I've already told the story a million times, so it's probably not the first time you heard it. And then this girl named Gao Yong, one of the girls I sent to, she replied back like, do you know what that means? I'm like, oh, I see I spelled it wrong. Oh, gosh dang it. I used the ah instead of the all, right? I was trying to use the ah, but actually eventually I ended up using o, not ah. And she's like, yeah, it means penis. I'm like, no, but it's hilarious, right? She's one of my best friends, like still to this day. Like she's one of the one that I cannot wait when I go back in about 7 days to meet once I'm finally in Gangnam. Oh my God, I love her so much. Anyway, sorry if I freaked you out, but I'm very free with those type of jokes. But until my Korean got better, Koreans could not handle those jokes. And I don't know what the switch was, but now that I can say other things, they seem to be making the same type of jokes as Japanese people. So I don't know, it just makes Korea more fun for me. I'm always on thin ice, true, with those jokes. Yeah, absolutely. But like I'm not embarrassed about those jokes. I do those jokes in front of my wife all the time. It's not a big deal. Like it's just, you know what makes a joke funny? Because it's not true. Do you know what I mean? Like you say a joke, you make a sexual innuendo joke. It's funny because it's not what you really think. It's not your character. It's just a joke, you know? Thomas Mecklenburg says, the last few days I've studied how to use I already read that. God dang it. Hang on. What's the best way to say do X while doing X? I've seen teiru aida ni and nagara. Nagara is best for yourself. That's a single person nagara. 私はテレビを見ながら勉強します。While I watch TV, I study. That's nagara has to be the same person doing the action. Aida is more, it could be more like, and actually, Aida could be another person, like, while you're doing the dishes, I'm going to go to the store. あなたが皿洗ってる間にお店行きます。But you can't say, あなたが皿を洗いながら私がお店に行きます. You can't do that. So nagara's one-to-one, you doing the same action on both sides of the sentence, and Aida can be either way. But let me think about if I can actually say. I'm not sure if that means that Aida has to have a different person. 私はアメリカにいる間に No, that could be you as well. It could be you doing a thing. George, I might not get fired. I'm not exactly sure what that's referring to. Thomas says, thank you. So using Atoni and Atode has a subtle nuance to it. Well, yeah. Atoni is an adverb, I guess, kind of thing, or it's like a time frame. Atode just is like, just literally like saying later I'll do it. Not like I'll do it at another time. Hetchy says, dude, you can't be serious. Man, I wish I knew what I was talking about in that moment. I wish I had timestamps here. Best for Funk says, me and my Japanese friend and I have made BDSM jokes, LMOL. She isn't bothered at all. That's true. Japanese literally don't do it at all. I think they're pretty open as long as it's mutual, obviously. I went to a wedding in Korea, right? And there was another Japanese friend that knew the same people. She was invited to, but she couldn't go because she couldn't afford the hotel. I said, look, I got a hotel anyway. I'll just get a two bed one. You can stay there. So we get there, and we're checking in, and she makes this joke because it was like it was actually a sex hotel, like a love hotel. I was like, why are we staying in this? But it was like cheap, right? So she just makes a joke like, are we sure they have condoms? Of course, I know that didn't mean anything, but I laughed so hard because there's no way that's gonna happen, right? Like, there's two beds. I'm married. She's got a boyfriend. She just happens to be there for the wedding. That's not gonna happen, right? But she made that joke. And she, oh my God, she was, I wish I knew where she was. I don't know where she is anymore. She was a really cool Japanese girl. Like I said to her, I met her and then I think it was like the next week or something like that. I said, hey, I'm going to be going to this anime festival in Korea. There's this anime, because I was actually going to look for artists. And artists had these individual like booths, but everyone would cosplay. So it's like, I had just been to China, it's like 2013. And I had a jacket made. I had two Psy jackets made. I looked just like Psy, green and this like really stark green and stark blue jacket from Gangnam Style. So I had the Gangnam Style and I had the glasses, right, that I bought in Korea. So I said, hey, do you want to be my Yuna? My Hyuna. Because she was in the Gangnam Style video. She dressed up super hot and like had the glasses where we walked around like arm in arm like this as Hyuna and Psy. It was so fun, man. That's Japanese girls, and that's why I will to this day tell you Japanese girls are the best. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. But I would never recommend you marry a Korean girl if you could marry a Japanese girl. And to be fair, even Korean girls have told me, yeah, you should marry a Japanese girl if you're going to marry somebody because Koreans aren't as good. It's a lot more drama with Korean women, as far as I can tell. But I don't actually know. I like it. I think the second time I'm gonna be in a Korean house is literally when I go back. My friend Siun, she's like, you gotta come over to my house. She's on Twitch and everything like that. She's like, come over to my house. I'm super excited. Never really been. I've been in one, and that was brutal. That was like I was with a friend of a friend, right? And I got to this house, and it was 3 housewives, and I'm sitting at the table listening to them talk, and they were making fun of the third housewife so brutally. I was like, am I understanding this Korean? But why is this woman staying here and taking this abuse? And I didn't know enough Korean, or I wasn't even like a part of the friendship circle to be able to say much, but I've never seen Japanese people be that way. Japanese people are so fake when they're being mean. Like you'll never know. When they're being mean, you'll never know. From the outside, you couldn't tell they were being mean. These Korean women were like brutal. I've seen some real brutal things from Korean people. They're way more like fiery human beings, which is why they're fun, by the way, for me. Do I have a favorite part of Japan? I do. It's Namba, Dotonbori. That area is probably my current favorite part. Hiroshima. Miyajima is my favorite like temple to go to, shrine type area. But if I could move, like right now, my current thought is definitely Osaka. If I could get an apartment or a place right there in the middle of Dotonbori, I would do it. I love Osaka area. Although my friend's place here in Sendai was amazing. Like I could live there too. Blue said, oh, I got used to the joke you spoke about before. Boss asked something like, Nande kaitan desu ka? And I answered, pende. Oh, nice. Pendes. Yeah, because Nande kaitan desu ka means why did you write it? But it could also mean how did you write it? And you purposely say with a pen. I love it. And they go, "Eh, じゃなくてどうして?" Most females wouldn't understand your kind of jokes. You say that, Hechi, it ain't true. You sound like you're 19 and you don't understand women. Japanese people get those jokes. And now that my Korean's better, the Koreans get it too. They're always like jokes like, okay, all right, you know. I'm so lucky that I don't come off as creepy with them. Like, I worry about that a lot, but luckily I don't come off as creepy. Rachibi says, I'm cackling at work at these stories. Bestra Frang says, I've made play on word jokes in Japanese. It can be fun, lol. Japanese people aren't that offended as long as you're not a creep. Yes, exactly. As long as you're not too serious and you're laughing with them. Bestra Frang says, Watashi wa sara o arai nagara denwa shimashita. Yeah, I made a phone call while I was washing dishes. Yep. Cosmo, George, what do you think about renting people in Japan? Oh, I've seen that. Hey, good question, Cosmo. I saw Conan do it. Conan O'Brien. Hilarious. Would I ever do it? No. I wouldn't do it. I don't think I could pull it off, and it's already been done. But I think it's funny. Japanese women are generally just nice and very laid back. True, not all of them, to be fair. I love angry Nihongo, though. Angry Japanese women are hot. I mean, strong women are attractive, for sure. That's why K-drama is so big in Korea. Yeah, K-drama is a little bit over the top, though, for me. It's a little bit too spazzy sometimes. I recorded all the Pokemon episodes from TV. Wow. I've never watched even one. I think I watched one just to understand what it was about, but I never finished. I don't think I watched the whole thing. I think I watched half of it. Females in Thailand are way more brutal, dude. Are they? Wow. But what these Korean girls were, these Korean wives were, I thought it was the most trashiest thing I've ever seen. I felt so bad for that woman. If I understood it correctly. Like, it was just like, what? If you hate her this much, why is she in your house? Like, just tell her to go. It's just rude. Japanese people being mean is kind of funny. I mean, I admit they're kind of bad at insults. No, well, they do this thing where they don't have sarcasm, but they're basically being like, "Kirei desu ne." You're so pretty, when they don't think you're pretty. Japanese women can be brutal as well. Kingo Fiber says any perverted joke is okay if you have the gaijin privilege. True, a little bit true. Like, even if a joke gets way out of hand for me, I pull the gaijin card. I'm like, oh, I thought I was saying this, and I'll change it. Nihongo machigaimashita. I mean, I never, even that, they know I'm making the joke, but it makes actually, I don't think I've ever had an actual situation. I don't say those type of jokes around people that I don't know. I really don't. With what did you write it be? Nani de kaitan dakke? Yes, but you can also say nande. Nande ikimasu ka? How are you going? Nande and nani de both work. But you can make it seem like you heard the nande for how. That's a good question. Now you're making me think now. No, if you say Nande Nihon ni ikimashita ka, I'm pretty sure it could mean how did you go? Like, what method? Nani de definitely better, much more clear. Let's see. And it might be the difference of you use the character nang de like this. Actually, that's always going to result in ikimashita ka. Okay, why? Let's actually type out. I mean, this is the end all be all. Yeah, they all mean why did you go, apparently. That doesn't seem right though. Nani de should not mean that. So maybe we can't trust this. Let's see what Google Translate says. Oh, I'm not showing you. Sorry, I wasn't showing my screen. There. Weird, right? Say that. Oh, come on. Why did you go there? And this one. There you go. What did you go for? Well, that's a little bit different. Weird. Trust me, I think if it didn't work, that joke wouldn't have hit so hard every time. Actually, don't trust me. Just try it yourself. Don't trust me for anything. I could be wrong. This is back of the bus discussion. Best for fun. Have I ever had an actual argument or fight with Japanese? I guess you've argued with your wife. Oh my God, yes, I've argued with my wife. But is there anyone else? I mean, yeah, other girlfriends. That's actually. Have I think it's always girlfriends. Yeah, weirdly, I don't know if I have. I mean, the only thing that came to my mind was there was this. You know what it was? I was so young in Japan, so I don't think I would have had an argument at that age because I didn't have the confidence I have as a human being now. Like I'm a full-blown adult human being, but I was a kid then, and even when I was a tour guide where I met all those people, I was a tour guide for them. So, oh no, I did. Oh my God, I had a huge fight with a Japanese customer. Oh my God, that story. I don't know. Maybe I should save that for another night because it's already 1 and I got to leave here tomorrow for a 10:08 train. And I don't want to. Yeah, this is too good of a story to waste at the end of a live stream. So remind me tomorrow when I do the stream to talk about Death Valley argument. It's one of my fun, like one of the best stories I think I have with a Japanese person. What's the difference between dazo and daze? I don't know if there's a difference. Ikun dazo, ikun daze. Okay, I got it. Ikun dazo is like saying ikuyo, right? It's like, hey, we're going, but daze shows a little bit more enthusiasm. Ikuzo, hey, we're going. Ikuze, here we go. I think that's the difference. Ze a little bit more fun. Ikuze, here we go. Ikuzo. All right, we're going, guys. Zo is equivalent to a yo, I would say. Angry Nihongo is hot. Maybe that's why I like oh God, I love Kansai girls. I like Kansai girls because, Kansai dialect feels a lot more informal. There isn't like actually polite Kansai dialect. It's just everything's informal with Kansai dialect. I love it. Kazuo said, are there also any other particles ending hiragana besides yo, ne, and na? Well, if you're talking about dialects, there's be and pe, ikube, ikusa. There's sa. You could consider she an ending, but that's like it's still an ending. There's ka. Did you say ka? Aka, sa, ta, na, ha. There's wa. Ikimasu wa. There's actually a ton. Bestra Frank says, I've had small arguments in Japanese when my Japanese wasn't good at all, but now I could do it better. The thing is, Japanese often are very good at de-escalation. Their whole way of speaking is de-escalation. How many kanji do I know? 4, at least 4 kanji. More than 10. I'm guessing, I've never counted, but it's over 1,000. But it's mixed up through all of the levels. It's very, and if you're asking how many can I write? Oh, not 1,000. I can read. And also it might even be, could I read it independently or could I read it part of a word? That's also a different equation. I read so good in context for words. See, for example, this is like something mirror, like bright mirror kokugo jiten only defines nande as nani yue ni, or yue ni means consequently, doshite or naze, and it gives those examples. Naiteru no? Why are you? And I hate when they do that thing. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see if we can't flip this. Hey, this is a good thing to talk about. Hey, there's been things that I've and actually doshite is a good way to make sure you're saying nai, right? Let's see here. Instead of why, I mean. Okay, so let's see. How did you go to Japan? Let's see if we can get some. What method did you use to go to Japan? Shit. How can I get it to do nande? It's always going to be doyate, I think. If you say how. Yeah. This is Dono Ryu. Donyo Ryu. How? Maybe the joke always worked because it was just wrong to start with, right? Let's take this into DeepL. What transportation method? See it's day right here. So if you throw the non-day in front, it's with what? The question is non-day always only why, or could it be understood as how? Yeah, non-day tsukuru no. What do you make it with? 100%. It's you could totally say that. What do you make it with? Come on, don't let me down. Oh, it's not nani o tsukatte. Ah, no, it's nani de tsukuru. Here, okay. Ah, shoot. I'm gonna make this happen, guys. Nande tsukutta. That's it. Could be why. Dang it. Come on, give me it. What time is it? Is my wife awake? It's my phone. There it is. What time is it in Vegas? 9:08 a.m. Let's see if my wife's up. Hey, let's solve this mystery. This would be a good way to end it. Let me hook this up. Okay. Call my wife. Let me make sure she's awake right now. Okiteru? Okiteru? Hatena. Okay, we'll see if she responds. Phone the wife time. For 100% sure. This is actually, what if I've been wrong? What if this joke was wrong on such a fundamental level? Like, this would be just like when I didn't know Yoeng, where I always thought it was Yong-eng. It's Yo-en for 4 yen. So this is a good one. This is worthy of making a video on the joke. She's normally not up this early. Nande Nihon ni ittan desu ka? All right, let me just call her. Whatever. We'll wake her up again. Yeah, but the question, Kyle, is can you do it with nande versus nanide? Does nande translate to how? I think it does, but now I'm doubting it. All right, it's not looking good. Damn. Who else is awake right now? I wonder if Yuki-san probably already went to bed. Let me see who else of my Japanese friends theoretically might be awake. Let's call Yukihiro. Okiteru? Nihongo no shitsumon ga aru nda kedo, moshi yoroshikereba. See, I'm speaking a little bit more polite because this is my Japanese friend. Yukihiro. Let's see if Eriko's awake. Okiteru? Hatena. Nihongo no shitsumon ga arimasu. See, it's weird. I went informal to polite. Of course, George is using. Oh wait, wrong thing. Hang on.
Of course, George uses line. What a weeb.
I'm pretty sure it's too late. I don't know if any. Oh, Yukihiro is. Oh shoot. Okay.今ライブストリームやってるんだけども、デモしてもいいかな。This is who I was hanging out with today, Yukihiro. He's a guy I interpreted for a 6-week course. A few times I've translated for him. So we're actually pretty good friends. Nama de Nihongo no shitsumon ga aru. Kaoを出せませんが大丈夫。Okay, good. もちろん声だけでもいいですよ。いいなら今電話します。I freaking love voice to speech. I hate typing. He definitely has work tomorrow though too. Come on. By the way, Japan is a very, very asking permission society. So I don't just do. I ask. I don't just call. Okay, I make sure they say dozo. Here we go.
はい、もしもし。
もしもし、聞こえます？
聞こえますよ。
これちょっとベーシックな質問なんだけども、
はい。
まず私が昔ね、なんで日本に行ったんですかっていう質問に対して冗談でね、飛行機で行きましたっていつも返事したの。なんで日本に行ったんですかって、飛行機で行きましたと。ほんで生徒がね、なんでっていう言葉が必ずどうしてっていう意味じゃないの？何でじゃなきゃいけないんじゃないの？その質問答えるには。私いつも冗談でわざわざ間違えて返事したのね。だから質問は、何で行ったんですかと、なんで行ったんですかって、なんでは何でとしても考えられるんですか？なんかどの手段でっていう。
漢字で書くとなんでって同じ書き方、何でとなんでって漢字を使うと同じ漢字と送り仮名何で、なんでってなるけど、なんではホワイじゃないですか。何ではハウ。
なるほどね。じゃあそのジョークは実は使えないという意味ですね。
そうだからどういうことっていう意味になっちゃうかな。
じゃあなんでって言ったら必ずどうしてっていうふうに捉えないといけないんですよね。 何で、いや、
そうですね。
なんで作るんですかじゃなくて、何で作るんですかとかじゃなきゃいけないんだ。
そうそうそう。何で作るんです。そうそう。そういうことです。
面白い。面白い。じゃあそのジョークは私昔から使ってるんだけど、そのジョーク昔から言ってるんだけども、なるほどね。完全の間違いで捉えてたんだよね。
そうそうそうそう。だから、あ、ジョージ、間違って言ってるんだろうな、ぐらいな感じで捉えてたんでしょうね。
いや、私はいつもね、日本語は上手ですねって言った後に、上手って何って書いて、そういうようなジョークするから、なんで日本に行ったんですかって飛行機でっていつも返事してたんだよね。ああ、恥ずかしい。まあまあまあ、勉強になった。
なんか言ってたような気もするけど、覚えてないけど、はい。
もうツアーガイドの時によく聞かれて言ったんだよね。なるほど。まあ何歳になっても勉強ができるということですね。
そうですね。
なるほど。まあそういうことだった。今みんな聞いてます、オンラインで。
ああ、そうですか。
そう
クリアになりました？
私はクリアになりました。間違いなく、じゃあ私がなんでと何でが同じように使えるなと思ってたんだよね。必ずしもなんでイコール Y じゃなくて、たまには場合によっては How っていうふうに捉えるんだと思ってたけど、捉えないんだね。そういうふうに。
そう、その後に続くセンテンス、文章じゃないですか、結局はやっぱり。なんで言ったんです。
ああ、なるほどね。でも、ごめんなさい、再確認。なんでで、その次に来る文章で、How にはなることもあり得る？
いや、ごめんなさい。日本人はならないですね。
ならない。OK。必ずじゃあ Y になるのね。
そうですね。
勉強になりました。
例えば漢字を使った場合、漢字を使うと何って同じですね。だから、
なるほどね。じゃあ、漢字で書いたら、ひょっとしたら、これが Y なのか How なのかが分からなくなっちゃう。
そうそう、分からない。だからその後に続く文章で、
じゃあある意味さ、なんで日本に行ったんですかって、なんか LINE で来た場合、飛行機でって答えれば、その時はその冗談が通用する。通用する。
漢字で。
要は私が読み間違えた。何でと読んでると。なるほど。分かった。素晴らしい。
トークではならない。
言葉ではできないけども、テキストならできる。
そういうことですね。
解けました。明日何時からですか？
いや、明日何もなければ出てますよ、9時ぐらいまで。
9時。OK。わかりました。今日はありがとうございました。いろいろ。楽しかったです。
こちらこそ。楽しくて子供たちもすぐ寝ました。
本当。ワクワクしててね。
そう。
わかりました。じゃあ奥さんと大和とユーマによろしくお願いします。
はい、ありがとうございます。よかったら、
じゃあ
気軽に聞いてください。
はい、じゃあ失礼します。
はい、おやすみなさい。はい。
There it is, guys. I have been wrong with that joke. I mean, I don't say it anymore because I'm not a tour guide, but here's the final conclusion. Nande never means how. It always means why. And nanide is by which method. So very good find, Nils. Very good find. And here's the only small saving grace, but it doesn't really save me because I was speaking. If you were texting somebody and they said nande can be written with the same nani, because nani is read as nani and nan, and they might send you, theoretically, they're sending you nande ikimashita ka, but you could choose to read it as nani de and reply with hikoki de, and the joke would work. It doesn't work in spoken because nande really only means why. But I personally misunderstood that the joke was working because, number one, I was looking for an awkward. I was trying to make it awkward by being wrong on purpose. But the Japanese just thought I was being wrong for a whole other reason. I was actually wrong. Not that I was purposely choosing the another meaning. I was just actually wrong. So that's kind of funny for me. And not the first time that it's happened where I go essentially, how many years? 30 years not knowing something. So very happy to learn it now in a live stream. Very good. But hey, we all learned, right? It could be. Doyate is more demonstrative. Like, how did you do that? Oh, I did it like this. Koyate, right? No one would. You could say like doyate Nihon ni ikimashita ka? You could, but more. It's better. I'm gonna say now. Nani de ikimashita ka? Like dono shudan de ikimashita ka? Like how did you go? But most Japanese people wouldn't ask that question. It's a dumb question. Why would you ever ask how someone went to Japan? It would be, it's hikoki. No one took the bullet train or a boat, right? But yeah, that's now just another scar in my life for something that I have been wrong with for so long. I have so many of those type stories. Like I remember as a tour guide, we would cross over all these mountain ranges when we were going to Death Valley, and I thought mountain range was Sambyaku, like exactly the same wording as 300. So I would say we're gonna cross over Sambyaku, thinking I was saying 300 mountain ranges. But mountain range is Sanmyaku with an M. Sanmyaku. When I found that out, I was like, every time I told that joke, it's always a joke, by the way. I'm always doing a wordplay. So it's like often my big mistakes are me thinking I'm saying a clever word joke, finding out now it's not clever. It's just you were making a bad joke. So there you go. Neil says, huge props for actually trying to get to the bottom of this. Hope it helped. Hey, look, man. The worst teacher in the world, the worst teachers in the world are the ones that can't admit a mistake. Because here's the thing. So yeah, I messed that up, right? Has it ever hurt me? No. Does it hurt me to admit it now? No. No, it doesn't hurt me now to admit it because my Japanese is fantastic. Like, I'm better than 99% of anyone I've ever met. It's a very rare occasion where I see someone better than me. So, like, I know I can die knowing I have done so much with my Japanese, even with all of its flaws. I'm comfortable in my situation to say I was wrong. Actually, I have another story now. I have another really cool story how I learned Naride, and I have learned things from people. Like, I have learned things from people that I shouldn't be able to learn from. The people that are learning from my system, I've learned something from them because what are they doing? They're looking at other sources of Japanese. They're studying the similar things. I haven't studied Japanese since I was like 18. Like, my Japanese study of Japanese stopped when I was 18. Everything I've learned after that is mostly me trying to figure out how to teach it, right? Me teaching it, me speaking it, me using it. It's not like me hearing it from a teacher. So but I appreciate that I learned it, to be honest. Neil says, yeah, I'm very jealous of your speaking skills. It was super fun to listen to on your conversation. Yeah. Nothing wrong with being wrong. Matter of fact, it's cooler to be wrong than to claim to, and trust me, it's not easy to be wrong. It sucks a little bit sometimes, but if you ever watch a TV show where the main character or a character is wrong, but they don't admit it, they look so shitty. So I keep that in my head. Like, I would rather be like, yeah, no, hey, I don't know the answer or I made a mistake. Remember when I said in the beginning of these Japanese dailies, I say, hey, I'm going to try to teach you. It's the back of the answer. I might be wrong. Back of the bus answer. I might be wrong. I was wrong. So messed up jokes are also okay with the gaijin privilege. Oh my God. I hope you're not too serious about the gaijin privilege. I hate calling it that. I hope you're just joking around. I mean, I get what you're going for, and that is probably the best way to call it, but I think I was always calling it like reverse racism. Like, it is privilege. It is. Never mind. But it is embarrassing for me more, I think, because there's one thing I try not to do. Teachers are generally shitty people. I'm a teacher, right? Because teachers have a hard time admitting that they're wrong. My father is a shitty person because he's my father. He has a hard time admitting when he's wrong because he's the father. And that father privilege, right? He takes too hard. He needs to be up. My father should say, oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting that you taught me that. Like if I know the law better than him about like real estate, even though he's been in real estate for 30 years, maybe he didn't pay attention to the recent stuff, or maybe I happen to like just be looking at that law. You know, he can't learn from me. And I just, oh my God. I remember this one teacher in Korea. I've told the story. I'm not going to give the whole story right now. She just couldn't admit when she was wrong. She couldn't admit when she didn't know. And it angered me. And I never want to be that teacher. Ever do I want to be that teacher. I would rather have some people lose faith in me as a teacher than, look, either you go, there's three ways this could go down, right? Either you go, that's cool that he admitted his mistake and you have more respect for me. Or you go, oh my God, this guy can't even admit when he's wrong. Fuck this guy. And you leave. Worse. Or you go, wow, I can't believe I learned from this guy. He didn't even know that. But I hate that person's not the target person I'm going for. I'm not looking for the person that needs a perfect teacher, because even Japanese people make mistakes. So I'm okay with that. Japanese people even mess up a kanji. Okay? Not as much as me, but they mess up. Kyle says, the gaijin card is being excused from culture or knowledge because you're not native to it. We excuse people who aren't used to our custom as well. Yeah, I agree. Blue says, I was in the U.S. for 2 months and I didn't get any gaijin privilege. Okay, to be fair, Americans don't give gaijin privilege because it's a melting pot. We assume you speak English. In Japan, they're impressed when you speak Japanese. It's actually, you know, if you meet a Japanese person, there's a big chance that they've never met a foreigner that speaks Japanese as good as you. Like, I get past that Nihongo Jozu right away. When I'm renting a car and I'm asking about insurance or something, like, it's like, okay, wow, your Japanese is really good. Because you know what? They've dealt with other Americans that have zero Japanese or bad Japanese. So the Japanese people that are most impressed are the ones that have maybe never met a foreigner and assume that no foreigner speaks Japanese well, or the ones that have met foreigners that every day they meet them and they suck. They're just not good. This Karuma, it's a manual, you know? So breaking it down like Walter White. Okay, listen, guys, it's been 2 hours. Let's get out of this. Let's go home, guys. I'll see you another day. Head thing for way longer, and I noticed my camera wasn't showing, so I had to start it again, and now my head hurts. す。